Hi everyone. In my video today, I'm going to be showing you Wingman-AI, which is a VS Code extension. And it's an AI assistant that's very similar to something like GitHub Copilot or something like Cursor AI. And we're going to go from start to finish, just generating a very simple application. We'll use Next.js just as an example here, and we'll do some modifications and take a look at some of the features in Wingman. All right, let's get started. So if you're not familiar with Wingman AI, there is a documentation page out there that you can go through, and it will highlight some of the features. It'll give you a link out to the VS Code Marketplace where you can go to install it. And it'll give you some information about how to configure Wingman, things to look out for, such as like tuning it. So if you're running, let's say Olama locally and you want to kind of use kind of the best supported models, or if you want to fine tune things, Wingman is a little bit of a kind of a more prescriptive approach to allowing you to use open source models. We don't allow every single model to go out there and be used because, for the most part, a lot of the models just don't perform very well. So there's certain models that we really encourage if you're running things locally, such as Qwen 2.5 Coder or DeepSeek. These are the best models. You're going to get the best performance out of them. So we recommend them. Or if you're using a third party AI provider, then, definitely, GPT or Anthropic models are going to perform even, even better. So I'm in VS Code here. I have a empty directory, and I'm going to go ahead and jump over into compose mode in Wingman. So I just use the shortcut, which is, for me, I'm on Mac, so I can use the Command I key, and it will bring up the compose interface. And I can go in and I can ask it to generate a new application. So let's say create a new Next.js application using TypeScript, and we'll use Tailwind CSS. Um, and let's see here. This application will be a new SaaS business application, and the company name is Unicorn SaaS. Business model is selling software services. We'll just kind of give it some extra details here. And, be as descriptive as you want. You can extend Wingman too, and you can give it rules. So you can give it additional instructions to go and generate code, and do different things that, styling, whatever you want it to do, you can kind of configure it and extend it. Here I'm using the default kind of out of the box config, and I'm asking it to go generate this. So you'll see the response here, and it'll kind of go through and start working on each file one by one. So I can click this file up here or click this button. It'll show me the diff view, and it'll give me, the package JSON that it created. I can also just accept the files. I don't have to go through the diff view, but just to kind of give you an example, because these files don't exist, there is no diff to compare. So it's all net new code. Um, I'll go through, I'll accept it. I'll accept the, so here's just kind of the accept button if you want to just go through it. And then we've got the app.js. So you'll notice here it's under the pages directory, and it's going and creating some of these additional pages still. So in my application right now, I've got the kind of basic structure, right? I've got a TypeScript file, Tailwind, package JSON, a source folder, the pages, etc. So now that it's kind of continuously going through and streaming in the pages as it completes them. So now that we've got our app, we have our index here. So I'll go ahead and accept index. I didn't really tell it what to create here. If you notice, I just kind of said, hey, here's a new application. We've got a global CSS. It created a get ignore for us, and a Next.js configuration file as well. And we also have the validate button. So the validate button is cool. So this down here happens at the end of every successful compose. And you'll also notice here at the bottom, you'll see every file that was pulled into context. So this is everything that's currently within its scope. You can use the clear chat button up here, and it will clear out its memory. And then you can also kind of selectively remove files as you go, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely nice to be able to do that. So what I'm going to do is just kind of slowly remove a couple of files here that aren't necessarily in scope anymore. So I'll keep things pretty simple. Um, and what I'm going to do is just go ahead and run a quick install. And we'll notice too that it has the dev command here. So I should be able to just run dev and it should open up the site. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So here we have a pretty basic site, and this is just kind of off the instructions. You'll notice that these links up here, they don't do anything. So let's go ahead and ask it to make like the pricing link here. We'll have it include that. Create a new page for the pricing. Well, here, let's just reword this. Create a pricing page. Show 3 different plans, be up the names and details. So I'll just ask it to make a new page and just kind of asking it to generate some content, be a little creative. I'm not trying to constrain what it's creating. So there's no templates that Wingman's running on. It doesn't have anything kind of baked into it. And you'll see, like, I did remove the global CSS here and it did re-add it. So it went, determined that it needed to make a change and went and modified it. So let's see what it did to this. So we'll give it a second while we're streaming in. I am using Claude Sonnet 3.6 or the latest revision, so that the performance is whatever you get out of there. So we've got a pricing page here. I'll go ahead and I'll accept that, and you can see that it just kind of added it in here into pages. It looks like it's updating the index page here, and again, this is real time. I'm not speeding it up, but this is just the whatever the performance speed is of Anthropic. Okay, cool. So it looks like it updated the link on the index page to point to the new page, and let's see what it did to the styles here. Okay, so it added kind of a new layer with some pricing styles. Cool. I'll go here and I'll click on it, and we'll see the new pricing page that it created. Now, kind of the issue here is there's no navigation bar, right? So the bar disappears. So we're going to say create a navigation bar and ensure all pages are using the same layout and the nav bar. So we'll see kind of what it does here with the change. And really what we want to do is just have that kind of common theme across all of our different pages. So it's working on that now. You'll see it also went ahead and it pulled the app page back in. So it works, on smaller projects. It works really well with kind of auto discovering files. When you get on larger, more complex projects, I would recommend coming in and like tagging the files and explicitly referencing them, because it's just gonna, in the end, save you tokens and save a lot of the headache, if you will, on AI generation, right? So context is still, not perfect. It doesn't matter what application or what platform you're using. There are limitations and challenges with trying to retrieve that the right context within your application. All right, so this is just kind of removing some of the old logic for the navigation bar, hoisting it up into this layout component and into a nav bar here. And we'll wait for the last page here to finish. So if we go through, we should see that the app here has the layout on the pricing page. Looks like it was removing some styling, some redundant styling. And we can see now that we've got um, a very simple site here, and we've got the navigation bar and the layout that works between pages. So this is a really simple example, again, of just going in and generating an application. So one of the other neat features with Wingman is there is the ability to use it in a multimodal way. So I just found a quick little example of like a SaaS website online, and I could take this picture and I can come in here and I can paste it in and I could say, um, make the home page look like the photo. And you can see that it'll show kind of the screenshot that I pasted in, and it'll have my instruction up here. And we'll let it kind of go and iterate here. I didn't need all of these files into scope here, so it won't use all of the files. It's gonna go and try to just, selectively choose which one. And that's one of the cool features with Wingman is it goes through a an agent agenic workflow where it has a planning component and it's able to go through, look at the request, look at files, look at the history of the conversation, and kind of plan out what its implementation plan is. And then it moves into a like a code writing phase where it can go in and kind of um, generate the code based on the plan that it developed. So there's a number of benefits to that, but that approach kind of mimics what a human would do, right? You would develop a plan and then you would go and implement the plan. So right now I'm just kind of accepting all of the changes across the app. And let's see here. So there was an image that didn't exist here. So this image here doesn't exist, so it won't show it. But you'll see that it'll go and try to kind of mimic various portions of it. So you can see like the application. It'll try to get the color scheme right. Obviously, some of this stuff is very custom. There's custom photos, so it's a little challenging, but that's just kind of an example of using it. And there's more. I could have been more kind of descriptive with this command and approached it different ways. One of the other cool features here too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop the application. I'm going to initialize a Git repository here. I've put my changes on this branch here, this add site branch. And what I'm going to do just for demo purposes, add pricing page. I'm going to create a new branch off of that and I'm going to call it add pricing page. And I am going to go back to Composer here. And I'm going to kind of be a little more targeted just to kind of show you a different way of working with it. But I'm going to use the nav bar and the pricing page here, the pricing page back to the nav bar. And I'm going to let it go ahead and add the pricing page back to the nav bar here. So in our last change, we generated the nav bar as kind of a centralized layout component. And we went ahead and when we did that, it did remove the pricing page back out because the image reference didn't have a pricing page. So in this, keeping kind of that old component or that old page around, I wanted to have it kind of regenerate that. So it's going to go ahead and just modify the nav bar, which is cool. So I did give it the pricing page as context, but it decided it didn't need that. It's just going to go ahead and modify the layout. Um, and what's cool is I can go over into chat mode now and I can kick off a code review. So this is just changing the navigation bar, but this is just an example of one of the features. So what it's going to do is it's going to come in here and it's going to give me a summary of the changes. And this is just kind of the summary of it. If I want to review it file by file, I can. I can click on review file by file and it'll go through and it'll mention different things that it thinks it should change about it. So there are some cases here. So let's see here. It's referencing removing the placeholder and let's see. So it does pick up kind of this whole file is new because on my main branch, I don't actually have the code pushed yet. So this is just all kind of pending here locally, but it's just kind of comparing that file. And it'll just mention that and you can accept it or you can reject it. So I can hit accept on it and then I can go back into the nav bar, look at the nav bar component and see that it replaced those two references about it. So now that's just some of the features that are available in Wingman today. Wingman still is a work in progress. There's continual enhancements to it, new features. If you are using it and you'd want to suggest a new feature, or if you run into some bugs for it, definitely go out to GitHub, open an issue, put in some information there, and we could see what we can add for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.